Howdy, folks. Welcome to the latest reveal from 5280 Designs and Printing. This is a Patrick Cargill customized Starkiller hilt. Received this actually in a trade from Shane Moore. Shane, awesome hilt. Loved it as long as I've had it here. Had finally kind of the instinct to go ahead and start installing it. Had a custom chassis designed when I actually got reached out by the person who now is going to be the owner. They saw a picture of it on a post I made and they were like, man, it's awesome. It looks great. Can I have it? And of course I said, it's not installed. He said, let's work it. He was in along the same lines as I was with a Proffie install. This thing has turned out way beyond anything I think I was ever originally first imagining, because when I got this thing, the Proffie never existed, so this has been sitting on my shelf for a little while, just kind of getting looked at. But I'll go over it here, fully assembled. It was completely empty when I got it, no chassis, no anything except what you see here in front of me. It did not even have a blade plug. So go over it, because I will say Patrick Cargill has done a hell of a job on this hilt. It looks great. It films great. I think everybody's going to be amazed with this thing. We'll start up at the top end. I have put in a NeoPixel loaded blade plug. We got a whole bunch of the standard graphics upper, the bunny ears, the brass pins, the faux glass eye, brass screw, and then we go into what makes a Starkiller, which is everything below here. So we've got the nice 3 screws, control box. Again, I will probably show this again later. Brass switches, tactile switches. This is your activation, this is your auxiliary. Keep rotating. They got the red button from our graphics. The other 3, the nice little greebly. And then of course, the beautiful crystal chamber that Patrick put together in this thing. Made for install to be, I'll say, about a beginner medium class install, just because of how easy he's made this thing to go in. Standard 4 brass rods, and then he's added some nice accents to make this thing really look just gorgeous. My own personal preference, I like the thin-waisted Starkillers. This one is not one of those, but still a gorgeous design with a couple of little ribs there. It, again, fits the hand nicely. If you're grabbing it around here to try and use the buttons, if you grab it this way, it's still very comfortable. And then, of course, we go into the grip. The grip does not have a natural copper, but it does have, and it's been hard for me to tell what really it is, if it's paint or an anodizing, but it's got definitely a bit more of a yellowish color to it, which again, for the Saber with the crystal chamber rods, it's just great color coordination, and it shows a great contrast against the black on the rest of the lower. 4 grip rods, nice large pommel. When this came to me, and it still is the same way, the pommel is completely adhered. I'm not sure what they've used, because you can't see any of it on the inside, to the lower handle. And then what looks like is a removable speaker in the pommel. It is also glued in with some sort of, I believe, an epoxy, because you can see a little bit of it on the inside of the handle. But that's kind of the general overview of this thing. Again, I've got to show this crystal chamber because it's great. I love it. If I could get one of these for a couple of other sabers I got on the shelf, I'd have them in a moment. So we're going to go ahead, take the handle off, show off the chassis, some of the features of this thing, and yeah, we'll go through the rest of it. So here we go with some of the features of the Saber, obviously with the handle removed, because there's some very nice stuff hidden underneath. as I mentioned earlier. Full one-off custom chassis by 5280. Some nice little copper rods, one on each side for kind of some accents. Brass meshing around the back end here, and underneath the brass meshing is NeoPixels. There's, if I remember right, 10 of them going around in a ring. We flip it a little bit further, and you've got here another set of brass mesh with another set of 8 NeoPixels sitting underneath it. Here's the other copper accent. Full kill switch, 1.3 recharge, and if I can get it on the screen, 28 mil Saber Essentials speaker. It is 3 watt for the Proffie. Works very, very nice, extremely loud. Put the handle back on this thing and it is just awesome sound. Blade retention can be done with both of these. This one I will recommend to the owner when they get it that they cut this one down and shorten it so that it's not the blade retention, just because it sits very, very close to the bottom of the blade, which in this case is actually squeezing more close to the NeoPixel connector on a blade or on a blade plug. All right, so now I'm going to fire this thing up.
Rise, my apprentice.
And of course, we've got to have Vader's Apprentice on here. The sound font for the first two, if I remember right, is Vader's Assassin. We have right now, it's a nice light glow on the crystal. And the ring has a slow rotation going around it. And again, it's not overly bright at this current time. This one just kind of swings back and forth until fire it up. The ring starts going a lot faster. The strip goes faster. The crystal gets a bunch brighter. As well, obviously, the blade comes on. I think it's very nice, and of course, the smooth swing. This does have the Plector button mod into the Proffie. You can see a little bit of the green. The crystal does mirror what happens on the blade itself. For blaster blocks, they do have the fade out, so you may not see it in the plug because it's obviously further out in the blade. Block up. Oops, sorry. The button. Block up. Force. Music.
Vader's Jedi.
So here we start with a green crystal. Again, kind of a palish, I won't say as much of a glow. It's got a little bit of an unstable built into it also. In this case, the chassis is lit blue. Fire it up. This goes green, and the ring starts to fade into a very similar green as the blade. And of course, the crystal lights up a bit brighter, as well as the blade. And actually, let me show you this a little better. So on the turn off of the blade, we get blue on the strip right away, and then this one slowly fades back out of the green to the blue. This is completely based off the owner's main blade style that he sent me. I've made the crystal to match most all of the effects. And then I've kind of made this so that it kind of actually does similar coloring to the main blade that was sent to me. You'll see the ring has a pretty strong pulse to it. And again, this is sweeping. After ignite, it goes to a very bright blue. Camera obviously is washing it out, but you'll see here it'll be a nice blue. And the ring starts rotating fairly quickly in the same light blue color. Crystal. And then in this case, it immediately goes back.
Smooth fuzz.
For the smooth fuzz font, we've got a purple color. Blade will go purple also. The handle is green, steady, with the ring off. So I'm firing it up. The ring gets a little bit of an unstable kind of an effect. And if I remember right, this does change color slightly. But again, it's not a huge change on this one. I'm trying to be a little more subtle on that one. Got full purple blade, brighter purple on the crystal this time. And for the lockup, got a little bit of a whitish accent color here. So I'm going to throw a blade on this thing, throw the handle back on, show you a little demo with a little bit of that, and so you can see how loud this thing actually gets. All right, so here we go. Here is the fully assembled Saber. It is turned on now as opposed to when we started the video. Fire it up, let you see exactly how loud it actually gets, and then we'll throw a blade on it and just kind of show off NeoPixel. A little harder to get it to clash without a blade on it, but I've changed the sensitivity to pick it up a little bit because of the loudness of the speaker. The board was picking up some clashes. There we go.
Vader's Jedi.
You do get a little bit of shine through. All right, now we'll throw a quick little dagger style blade onto it and show how nice and bright this thing is. And here we go. I've got about, it's about a foot long blade onto it. Also here in my hand is the actual customized NeoPixel blade plug. It's got one of my own NeoPixel adapters, 3 pixels in this one. I think just from the video earlier, from earlier parts of the video, you're going to see it's more than bright enough. This was cut to the length that the owner wanted it, which basically makes it fit about flush with the top of the inside of the emitter instead of going up into the bunny ears. And then of course, here we go. We're going to drown out the camera.
Vader's Jedi.
This one's got actually localized clash on it, so when it's got a full-length blade, The localized clash happens just about from here up, and it does move a little bit. Looks very great. Thanks to the members of the community who've figured that one out.
Scene C. Smooth fuzz.
I'm gonna go show off the purple.
Vader's assassin.
There we go. So guys, that is the Cargill by 5280. Hope you enjoyed it. Be throwing some glam shots here at the end of the video. By all means, if you got any questions, reach out, let me know. More than willing to venture down the road with you on any kind of a custom chassis solution or installs on stuff. So thanks guys for watching. See you next time.